You want to hear a quick porn story?
Yeah.
Okay, so I worked out of this
Henry gave a nod of approval.
I worked out of this office called the Founders Dojo,
Yep.
and it was the greatest thing ever. I'll tell another story about it, but basically it was, if you've seen the TV show Silicon Valley, it was we had Ehrlich Bachman. It was an Ehrlich Bachman type of guy named Dave, who was a great guy, but totally inappropriate and disgusting in a good way. And the office was filthy. And there was this guy, I forget his name, Ratish and Chris.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And
I remember this.
And it was this little skinny Indian guy, and he was crazy and awesome. And he was like the stereotypical Silicon Valley hacker, where he could get a job at any big company and make $200,000 a year, but he was like, no, fuck that. Fuck the corporate pigs.
Right.
And so he would sleep at that office, and Dave would buy him pizza all the time because he was like, wanted to be poor and do this thing. And so he created a site,
a
website that would crawl
Tumblr.
No, I think all of the internet.
Okay.
For the GIFs that had the highest velocity of growth. And so if a GIF launched,
Popular GIFs.
he would tell you
Or
right
GIFs.
away which one's going to be the most popular, and then you would see it on the screen. And it was called The Worst Drug, theworstdrug.tv. It's not there anymore. And that sounds like a silly thing, but that's not why he did it. He did it because what he was trying to do was, find the fastest, technology that could find the fastest growing stuff. And if you would go to theworstdrug.com, you could type in something like dog, and the search feature would autofill like wicked fast, like
Right.
way faster. And then you would click enter, and it would be, bam, a high def GIF.
It was high def. It was full screen. And it was like
Full screen.
It was laser fast.
So the technology is very like Pod Piper like.
Yeah.
The technology wasn't like whatever Pod Piper did. It was the fact that it was all behind the scenes. Like it was a bunch of nerds being like, yeah, our GIFs load the fastest, and like, look, it's like HD, and it happened in nanoseconds. And he would spend nights, and I would come back, and it would be just a tiny improvement, but we'd all gather around it. Well, so here's the point of the story. Turns out the most popular GIFs on the internet, 99% of them are super hardcore raunchy porn. Like real raunchy porn. And so
Yeah, because when I went to the site, it was all porn. There wasn't like porn and then some basketball gifs
No,
and
it's
then like
all
a funny
porn.
one. It was only porn. So I was like, this is a porn site.
And so at the office at the dojo, we would have these huge screens of like his workstation, and the way that he sat was everyone could see it, and we kind of got immune to it, but it was like the raunchiest shit ever. And he'd be like, guys, check this out. Early in the morning, we would come in at 11 a.m., which was early, and he'd be rubbing his eyes and shit, and he'd be like, check this out. And all 8 of us would gather around this high def screen and be like, and he would type in the word like facial, and like he's like, watch how fast this loads. And we were just so immune. We're like,
You're not even looking at the content.
We're not even looking at the content. We're like, oh yeah, wow, you could like see the shine in the liquid. It was so funny. And we would have like these like lawyers come into the office, and people who are actually, or like investors who would try to raise money for the other companies, and we would forget that this was on the big screen.
So what happened? So this sounds like, what's the end of the story? What is this guy doing now? What happened to the site?
The site, The Worst Drug, got millions and millions and millions of visitors. The engagement was stupidly like good. He couldn't monetize it. They couldn't use it. So there were so many restrictions. No ad network would allow him to use it. And so even though the site, I think it was getting at least for sure millions, I think maybe tens of millions of monthly uniques, and it made zero money and only cost him a lot of money. And the story ends with like someone in Bulgaria or Latvia, like this like ex-communist country, wanted to buy the site, and it was all weird. And they flew him out there, and he's like, wait, these guys are like mobsters. And they ended up like bailing, and they just shut it down because it was.
And so what does he do now? Now he works at Facebook? No.
He bailed. I've never seen him.
Oh,
He stole my skateboard. I had a skateboard. I left at the office. He stole it, and I've never seen him since.
He had to get away, dude.
I've never seen him.
He needed transportation.
Raj. That's his name, Raj. I've never seen Raj
All right.
from.
I'm going to hunt this guy down because that guy is going to build something amazing, or it's going to be a very sad ending. But either way, it's going to be not average, not the usual.
Yeah, he was like, if you think of like this idea of what Silicon Valley is, that was that.
Right. Wow.